co-founder and COO of a startup called Neuphony in Germany, and we are developing a wearable neurofeedback device which validates your mental health. So it tracks your brain activity and helps you understand about your brain better. We use techniques such as meditation and music just for your brain to find which can help you achieve the desired state. It can be sleep, it can be relaxation, it can be focus, it can be concentration. As a part of our startup, we interview professionals from this domain in the field of neuroscience, psychology, mental health, or even very inspiring stories to share with you on this platform. Today, I have Shalmali with me. She has a very inspiring story. She is just 21 years old. She has recently founded her second startup. The first one is called Empathy for You, and I think it was 3 to 4 years back, if I'm right, Shalmali.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, I started it 2 years earlier, but the thing or the reason that made me start, it was 3 to 4 years earlier.
Exactly, and she's in her final year of BTech Computer Science. She's a member of International Youth Council with the United Nations. Welcome, Shalmali, to our platform.
Thank you so much for having me. And the idea that you're talking about, that's pretty much, interesting, and which is very much needed because we don't really have something to understand, just know about how your mental health is. So I think that's amazing. And thank you so much for having me today.
No, it's our pleasure completely. So, we believe in the worlds of science, meditation, and mental health. We want to bring these different worlds together using science and technology, and that's what Newphony stands for. And that is why we kind of bring people from domains and inspiring stories such as yourself to kind of inspire more people. One thing I would like to share about Sharmali is that she has a very inspiring story. If anybody has any questions about her journey, about her past, about her present, please feel free to ask. So, my first question is when you were in 12th standard, that is, I think now 4 years back, you were going through depression.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that part? Why you were feeling depressed when you were in just 12th class and 15 years old?
Okay, so first of all, let me tell you that, when I was in 12th grade, I went through this phase, but at that time, I didn't know that, okay, this is depression. This is called as depression. And, I feel this is pretty much the same condition in the society when it comes to mental health issues. People are not aware about the basic concepts about mental health. They aren't educated about those basic concepts. And that was pretty much the same thing with me. The symptom was just, I used to get a lot of headache.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so severe that I used to cry.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know the reason. Might be because of the studies I was doing, because that was, we always have a pressure when we are in 12th grade about all the exams, entrance exams that they come in picture. So might be because of my exams only. But the only symptom I had was my the headache, and the second thing, I used to cry. I don't know why, but the headache was so severe that I was not able to bear it within myself, and I used to cry. And I, it's like my parents understood this, and they took me to a doctor, and the doctor was like, he gave me some medicines, and he told me it may be because of stress. I didn't really had to go through therapy because that was a kind of mini depression, I would say, that didn't really lasted long, because yes, depression is, in different phases. It might last for a few days, for a few weeks, for a few months, or it might last for a long time also. So I guess I went through that many phase. But to be very frank and to be very true, I didn't really know that that was depression. And I
Okay.
care about this, like being in 12th grade, I wasn't knowing about mental health. Being in 12th grade, I wasn't knowing about, what depression is. And that was something that, that was something that I got to know after
Later.
might be 1 year, after understanding, okay, this was it, and this was I was going through. The doctor I was taken to, he also said that you might have got spectacles, and just go and check your, eye number.
Yeah.
So that was also advised. I mean, I really feel that, how should I tell people that this is not it? That's
This
not
is
because of
weird.
spectacles. And I feel, this is in the society, this exists in the society because of the stigma and the taboo that is associated with mental health. Like no
Yes.
one in the society will talk about it, nor my parents did, nor my siblings did.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was just saying that, it was because of the exams were approaching. It was
Yeah.
because I got spectacles, and that is why I used to get headache. And but
Mm-hmm.
it's all right. I used to get headache, but why was I crying? There was no reason to
Exactly.
cry.
Random
Yeah,
emotional outbursts. So, one
yeah.
thing I would like to tell our audience in the US and Europe, the 12th standard stands for high school. So, that is when you're 18 and you're just before entering the university. So, there's like a lot of pressure to which stream you want to pursue, which career you want to go so she was 18 when she was going through this. Like, that is 12th standard in India. So, now asking you, what were the symptoms? So, we heard a random emotional outburst, there was a constant headache. what
Yeah.
about um what about when you were going out with your friends and family? Was that like a 24/7 into 365 days state, or was that there were some happy days which made you feel, oh no, I'm okay?
No, that was, it was normal, but there was a certain time, like it was 10 a.m. in the morning. I used to get severe headache, and
Mm-hmm.
that used to last till, 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so severe that I just had to sleep. I can't study
Mm-hmm.
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I was not able to go out. I was not able
Mm-hmm.
to talk with anyone. That was so
Mm-hmm.
severe. I just used to cry,
Okay.
and that was the only symptom that I experienced. But
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, that was, everything like normal,
Mm-hmm.
until I got to understand that, okay, that was depression that I went through.
Yes.
But that was, after a long time that I understood that, okay, that was depression.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the only symptom. And when I, otherwise, the other time I used to study, I used to be with my parents, I used to go out, I used to hang out. So everything was normal. But that time, from starting from 10 a.m., that used to last till, 1 or 2 in the afternoon, it was like, someone is taking
Yeah.
something and is banging on my head. It used to
Mm-hmm. It's
feel like
that
that.
kind of a feeling. And
Yeah.
physically, did you feel any changes in your body? Like, did you stop eating? Did you stop hanging out with people? Did you have, like, instead of the headache, like, were you eating and breathing and your health okay at that time? Or did you see some up and down at that time as well?
Not anything related to my physical health.
Mm-hmm.
That was, pretty much the same as I used to do earlier. But the only thing I used to notice was this about the headache. And
Yes.
after that, I also started using spectacle, because people
Mm-hmm.
used to say that you might have
Yes.
got
Yeah, there's some
spectacles. That
power
is
or
why there's,
something.
yeah, headache. So I also started using that. But this condition stayed for, few days.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I don't know how, but I started coping with that. In fact, I wasn't even given the medicines.
Mm-hmm.
There were some medicines which were for stress, because that doctor said that there might be a stress of exam that you might have taken,
Mm-hmm.
and that is why he gave some medicines about headache and
Mm-hmm.
that. But that was, I was pretty much good after a few days of treatment. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really had to go through, therapy sessions or counseling sessions, or there
Mm-hmm.
wasn't any changes which are related to my physical health also. So that was the span of few days where I went through this, and hence I call it as mini
Mini
depression.
depression. One thing I want to kind of share with our audience is the question. The reason why I ask this is because people always say that you have to look depressive. There is like, you don't look depressive. You seem so happy. You look so healthy and funny. So that is one thing which I want to break first, that you don't have to look depressive to be in depression. It can happen to any person irrespective of how they look physically.
Yes.
And
So, it's not
yes,
like looking at someone, you say that, okay, I'm looking happy. Looking at me, you can't say that, okay,
exactly.
she's looking very happy, she's not depressed. And if someone is looking low, you don't say that, you can't say that, okay, that person is depressed. So, depression has nothing to do with how you look and how happy you are. And, it's about deep inside, what's going on deep
Yes.
inside you.
And especially one, the other thing which I want to point out here is that if you have started feeling that you are in depression, your body has been in depression for much longer. What you see
Yeah.
are physical symptoms. Depression is a mental state. So from the mental state to be seen in physical body, like even with headaches, and leave alone the part where you're starting to lose weight, it's a very long journey. So your body
Yeah.
was suffering for way longer, and you have to start listening to your body more, like she listened to the headache part.
Yeah.
So now continuing on that, so that was somewhere when you were 18 years old, and within few months you went through something very difficult.
Yeah.
um, you saw your sister try to commit suicide. You entered the room when she was doing this. I don't know what to say here. Can you just explain what that feeling was, what your sister was going through that she tried to commit suicide?
Okay, so before starting, I must just say that, I might just break down while sharing the story, but I won't cry, but that's, something that I don't know, that those are the triggers
Yes.
that come when I talk about this, because that was the incident, like, it should never happen with anyone.
Yes.
Okay, so me and my sister, we were in the home that day, and there was no one in the home. And I was in the living room. I was watching TV. I was hanging around, and she is a medical student. She always, and the amount of study that goes for medical student. And from few days, I noticed that she's always being in the room, and she is kind of not kind of isolating herself. She When we used to go out, she was never used to accompany us. She Where we used to go, like, for dinner or for hanging
Mm-hmm.
out, she never used to accompany us, and she always used to stay in her room. So one on that day, I after watching TV, I just went to her room, and I opened the lock. I opened her door, and the picture that I saw in front of my eyes was very shocking. And like, she was sitting on the bed. She had few tablets in her hand, and there was the bottle of the tablets on her right hand. And she was about to eat those tablets, and I opened the door, and suddenly she stopped. So I was not knowing, like, she had a laptop open with a goodbye letter written on her laptop. And like, when I saw this, I didn't really know, like, how should I react to this. So I immediately went to her. I threw those pills off. I threw that bottle in the dustbin, and I grabbed her literally, and I took her to the living room. I gave her water to drink, and after that, we had a conversation about about 3 to 4 hours, where she was telling everything. The first thing I did was I read that letter, because I got to know everything from that letter. And she had mentioned in that, like, she was feeling like no one cares about her. No one is like, she was feeling as a burden on her parents, on me as a sister. And she just wanted to kill herself so that she can uh, kind of make us happy. So after that, then I saw her, closely taking all the medications. I used to be accompany her to her therapy sessions. I used to bring all the medications to her. So I saw that, and after that, I, somehow decided. So that was, actually about the sister and how she went through this. But I would say that, it didn't make me stop. Instead, it make me go out and talk about mental health and the issue that comes around. And that is how I started empathy for you. So I at that time, even I wasn't knowing about even the basic concepts. I wasn't even knowing about uh, why she is doing this, why is she taking this step. And that is why, how I got through that. I took some courses. I tried to understand what exactly depression is. I educated myself about those basic concepts. And that is how empathy for you came to rise.
Okay, so firstly, I have to say a lot of respect to you and for your
Yeah.
sister. It's amazing. I just don't know what to say. So it's amazing what you're doing, and your sister. I hope she's doing. She's your elder sister, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. I can imagine how difficult it must have been for you. One thing which I want to first ask here is that what were the things which, when you talked, you must have talked to your sister. What
Yeah.
led to her thinking all of this? Now that you know this story, can you correlate that there were some things, there were some signs which she was showing before she tried to do this thing? And as family, we are always, it's okay, we are kind of self-diagnosing, oh, this is, no, she's just having a bad day, that kind of stuff. But now, after that you saw her, I'm pretty sure you were able to kind of correlate the things. So can you share some of the signs in which you now understand that there were signs of her being in depression?
Yes, so the first sign was, as I said, like she was isolating herself from a long time. She never used to hang out with us. She never used to come accompany us to dinner, to lunch when we used to go out. So she was kind of isolating herself. She didn't want to even, kind of be with her family. I'm not saying about the people, you know, apart from the family, but she was not even coming and sitting long with us when we used to have our dinner together. She always used to stay in her room. So the first thing was isolation. The second thing was about mood swings. Like I haven't seen my sister earlier about, for some moments she used to be happy. She used to be everything normal. And after suddenly, after some time she used to break down. She used to say that, okay, I'm going to my room. I just want to rest. I want to study. And, she used to give reasons and she used to get back to her room. So that was the thing that now I understood that, there were mood swings. The third thing I also noticed about was her sleep patterns. Uh, I don't know whether it was excessive sleep or whether it was she was not able to sleep. But during the day, she used to take constant long naps, and we used to feel like, okay, she might have studied overnight and that is why she's sleeping. But that is, she told that that was one of the reasons, that she was constantly sleeping. She used to take constant long naps. So I think yeah, these are the few reasons that we noticed, and that I heard while she was talking to her counselor, and the discussion that I heard. So yeah, this were the symptoms.
Okay, one thing I think maybe I can comment here is that the reason why she was maybe sleeping so much was to close her thoughts, because maybe she wanted to run away from them. It was her physical body and her mental body were not in sync. No matter how much she sleeps, she was always feeling tired. She had 1,000 thoughts in her brain going on, and it
Yeah.
sometimes just becomes so overwhelming, because no matter, and you always think, right, okay, I'll sleep, I'll get back active, because that's like a reset button, and I will feel better. But sometimes the sleep is not working, that 8 hours, because your body in subconscious state is not feeling good. The sleep is not doing its job, that to make you feel refreshed, and that's why she was just keep on doing that. And then you're correctly right, that was one of the symptoms, because she was trying to run away from the reality. She didn't want to face that thing, right, because it was not good.
Yeah.
So thank you firstly sharing for this such an emotional story, and in a very strong manner. You're amazing. I'll move forward otherwise I'll get emotional. So you also now do therapy for young students. You try to help them out. You're a mental health advocate, not a professional, I will mention here so that people can understand. She's an advocate, and she now wants to pursue after her engineering psychology MSc, so that she can really help out people like herself and her sister. So can you, now you talk to a lot of teenagers, and I think you have helped how many teenagers in the past few years?
Well, it has been, so first of all, it's pure support group. So
Yes,
like, I just, kind of listen to people. And if I feel that, okay, he or she needs therapy, then I divert them
to
to
the
the counseling
professionals.
psychologist that I am in touch with. So it might have been around, 110 or more than that, basically. So
That's
like,
amazing.
yeah.
So now when you talk to those people, let's try to kind of divide this. Let's When you try to talk to these teenagers, why are the teenagers, let's go to the why first. Why are teenagers having so much of mental health issues? What is the reason? What is the seed point according to you?
Okay, so the first point I feel is the changing urban lifestyle. We are having exposure to the things that we shouldn't give an exposure at this time. I don't know if I'm saying it correct or wrong, but I really feel that, the exposure to social media, the
That's a
exposure to the digital world. Because, for example, I'll tell you, like when we open Instagram, there's one or the other friend. Okay, she has started something. Okay, he has started a new
yeah.
venture, and then you start feeling this about yourself, that okay, I'm not doing anything, what should I do, and there's nothing happening with me. So I think that is the first reason, that's overexposure to social media. And the second thing I feel is growing competition. We are constantly nagged into a rat
Yes.
race. We are, where we are constantly trying to prove ourselves ahead of others. Even this happens in the families, right?
Yes.
There's a competition done by parents itself between your elder sibling and older sibling. So I think that's, something that is one of the main reasons, like the competition. The third thing I also feel is, the societal pressure or might be family pressure of getting good grades and being first or getting that good rank in the exams and studying and doing all that stuff. The fourth thing I also feel that this leads to mental health issues because somewhere your physical health is also disturbed. Most
Yes.
of the people don't know this, that there's a link, there's a connection between your physical health and your mental health. So it's very important for you to keep a track on your mental health also, if you want to keep your mental health in of your physical health also, if you want to keep your mental health in check. So your sleep patterns, they have been lot disturbed. The sleep cycles of the teenagers, the youngsters, they're disturbed. We sleep at around 3 4 a.m. and then we wake up at around 11 a.m. 12 p.m. So it's just totally disturbed. The
Yes.
second thing I also feel is about the food that you take. That also has the nourishment, that also
Definitely.
has a lot of effect. So it has been about excessive eating, it has been about overindulgence, it has been about junk food, that we kind of feel that okay, I'm treating myself when we eat junk food. So
Yes.
that is also one of the reasons. So yeah, I feel these are the primary reasons that lead to the mental health issues, specifically when we talk about teenagers and youngsters.
Definitely. And one thing I would like to say, that even as like I am 26 years old right now, and when I at this age, when we see people doing different things, we always are kind of pitting ourselves subconsciously or consciously that oh, what it would be so nice to have a thing like that. Teenagers are not capable enough right now to think of the right and the wrong. We know that is wrong, and even then we have that thought process that we want it. Teenagers are not in that state where they can decide. And you correctly said it, there is, firstly, there's no right or wrong. It's always about what we think. And I definitely agree upon this, that social media, what we are being shown is like the adult lifestyle, and even adults are not capable enough sometimes to handle that, leave alone
Yeah,
teenagers. And there is a lot of society pressures, parental pressure, education basis, that you have to do these things at this time, and it never stops. It
yeah,
never stops. It just keeps on going. Like at 40 you should do this, at 50 you should do this. It's it's just, teenagers are like small kids, they don't have the capabilities right now to do that, and pitching them against each other is just not right. food has um food has a very important role. Sometimes when we are feeling cravings, these cravings are because we are lacking some content, some element in our body. And then it is sometimes because that there is a lack of some hormone release, we feel that we are having a sugar craving. These things
yeah,
too can be related. So it's not really your cravings, but it's actually your mental health. Mental health is nothing but brain health, right? So it is actually a part of your brain which you're feeling, and it's physically, it has a connection to it. Thank you for actually putting all the important characteristics out, because I feel this overall covers everything, like the social, the economical, the psychological, the food habits. All of these things are issues which are causing the teenagers, the issues, the mental health issues in teenagers to increase.
yeah.
So now that we have the causes, how about how do parents and families and teenagers, what can we do about it? So what is the first thing that you recommend to teenagers when they reach out to you with such problems?
All right. So I start from basic things. Like, as I said, it's about sleep patterns, it's about food. So asking them to, take it in proper order, take it in proper manner. The second thing I do is, ask them to kind of not suppressing themselves. Like, for example, if we are feeling something and if that's negative, what we tend to do is we tend to ignore that, or what we do is we don't talk to someone. So that's very important. Like, ignoring
Yes.
is not the solution. Talking about it or just expressing it or acknowledging is the solution. The
Yes.
third thing I do is, I tell them that vulnerability is strength. And this is very wrongly taken in the society.
Yeah.
If someone reaches out, if
Mm-hmm.
someone wants to ask for support, they feel like, okay, and especially related to mental health, if you approach a therapist, if you approach a professional, or
It's
if you
taken
just
as
talk to your family also, there are so many misconceptions about mental health that people feel that, okay, you might have gone crazy, okay, you might have gone,
it's taken
um
as a sign
you
of
know
weakness.
yeah, that is considered as a sign of weakness. And sometimes also people say that, oh my god, you have such a good family, you have a well settled family, how can you face this, how can you go through that issues? I mean, what how is this related to how family or well settled is? This is about mental health, you must try to understand this. So I feel that is one thing, and I just tell people that it's okay to reach out for help. In fact, that is a sign of strength. It's okay to be vulnerable about what you are feeling, what you're going through. So I always say this to the peers who reach out to me, that I make them believe that vulnerability is strength, and it's very important to reach out. It's not always about going through yourself alone. When you talk to people, you never know, like, help can come from an unexpected source also. So just try reaching out to people. I also tell them that, do the things that you enjoy. I mean, we always keep on looking at the things that are, big and extravagant. For example, if I want to feel calm, if I want to, kind of just relax, I'll find a big resort in a hill station, a lavish resort in a hill station, and I'll go there and I'll kind of vacay, and then
Yeah.
spend all my time and money over there, and I'll come back. And that, I don't know, how does that make you feel relaxed? It might be, but
Okay.
have you ever tried just like grabbing a cup of coffee, going to your terrace and watching sunset?
Exactly.
That's also a form of relaxation. And
Yeah.
why not do that? Because Mother Nature comes with a scenery every single day, with a different scenery every single day, and that's totally for free. You don't have to spend your time and money on that. So it's about the little things that in your life that bring you happiness. So do the things that bring you joy. I also tell them that it's very important to keep looking on the bright side. See, you are what your thoughts are. Your thoughts make you. So you have to be that guard and stand at the entrance of your mind and filter those thoughts that enter into your mind. Filter those thoughts. If they are negative, just throw them aside. You can't even kind of afford the luxury of one single negative thought, because you will suffer a lot from that single negative thought also. So it's
Yes.
very important for you to be a guard for yourself and start at the entrance of your mind, and kind of block those negative thoughts, and just make sure that this just the positives enter in.
Wow.
So, and it's about, it's never about, I have seen people say that you can't control your mind, and that's very much true. Like, for example, if I ask you, don't think about red apple, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
I don't have to think about red apple. And that's a
No,
thought.
if I say about, don't think about red apple is the thing that comes to my mind.
Yes.
I
That's
see a
the,
red apple. Yeah.
yeah.
So that is how your mind is. You can't control it. But in fact, I would say that, what your thoughts are, they make what your mind is. Like, we always are, kind of categorizing the thoughts into positive and negative thoughts. So I would say that stand as a guard at the entrance of your mind, and just make sure that only positives are entering in. You are what your thoughts make. If you just
Definitely.
keep on joining the pity party, that, okay, I'm not able to do this, I'm failing at this, I'm not doing this, I'm not able to get this, then obviously you'll not be able to get that. Just try thinking positive, try saying positive. Positive self-talk is also one thing that comes with picture. Most of the times, if our, not only about depression and everything, but even in our everyday lives, like, if one thing is not working out, we just kind of get frustrated. Oh, Shalmali, what are you doing? This is not working out for you, things aren't working out. Instead, try to say it in a positive way. It's all right,
Positive.
Shalmali, you're doing great. Things will
Exactly.
fall. This too shall pass. So
Yeah.
just try seeing it in a positive way. Have a positive self-talk with yourself.
Okay, so firstly, I have to say I'm very impressed. You're just 21 and you're talking like such a mature person. I know life takes sometimes a path where you become mature earlier than your age. So that's amazing. Your voice needs to be heard amongst the teenagers, and keep doing that. I would like to comment here is that there is a, when you said that be the part where you actually decide that this thought is wrong and it should not be let in, there is actually a part in your brain called amygdala which does this, and you can actually train your brain. So when a person goes through trauma, that is something you're thrown at, thrown in that situation, and then you train your brain to not think of the bad things. Otherwise survival becomes difficult. And this is very important because we can train our brain and we can train our thoughts. You can control your brain to not think about, example, the red apple situation. We can eventually control that at this particular moment, when I am in office, when I am at work, when I am at study, I have to think about this. It is all in the mind and it is all in our control. We have to, as you said, stop being in the pity party and we have to start working towards it. I generally ask this question: what can you do about it? If there is something you can do about the situation, do it. If you cannot do, because there are very big things in life where you really cannot do anything, like life and death, and that comes the point where you are helpless, because that is, you really cannot do anything. No kind of positivity at that particular stage can help you. But when we are working with day-to-day struggles, mental health struggles, this is something where your thoughts can actually play a very, very major role. So it
Yeah.
was amazing that you shared this with us, because this is very important for the teenagers, I believe. Right now, with so much going on, the teenagers want to become adults very early, and they still don't know how to process their emotions. They don't know how to feel in certain situations. And I feel, especially, I'm not sure about the rest part of the world in this case, but about India, I know that emotions are not considered good. You are called by names when you are expressive, when you cry, when you're happy, when you're chirpy. There are terms associated with, and in a bad negative manner, and that's why people want to suppress their emotions, specifically teenagers.
Yeah.
And this is not good, and that's why we wanted to talk about the struggle to express emotions amongst teenagers, because I think that kind of makes your problem tenfolds, because when you're
Yeah.
not being aware about the emotions. And the
Yeah.
3-step cycle which you shared is amazing, which people, I think, should start work. What can family and friends, especially family, because I'm pretty sure like friends in that particular age circle are not capable enough to kind of deal with that.
Hmm.
Specifically family, what can families do? Like, what was the first thing you did and provided to your sister when you got to know about that story emotionally?
All right. So the first thing I do is, or I would suggest the parents also to do, is just listen to what they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
because that is very important. Anyone who goes through a mental health issue, they won't really. It's very rare that they themselves come ahead and talk about what they're going through. So it's very important, so that when they have trusted you, they have
Mm-hmm.
came forward and they're telling you about something, just make sure that you're listening to it properly.
Mm-hmm.
When you're listening, just don't be alarmed or
Mm-hmm.
shocked at something if they reveal
Mm-hmm.
something,
Yeah.
because that might again put them down.
Put
So
that down.
just don't get shocked or reveal. Just
Mm-hmm.
listen calmly.
Mm-hmm.
The third thing I would say is, when you're listening, also try to create that comfortable space,
Mm-hmm.
because our things, for example, if you're telling me about what you're going through and I'm suppose your parent and I'm listening to what you're going through, sometimes it might also be the thing that you might not talk about everything that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important for me as
Safe
a
to
parent to
find
know
the.
what, yeah, to know everything from the start till the end,
Mm-hmm.
so that if you are if you want to know everything, it's very important to create the safe space to listen very calm, to
Mm-hmm.
kind of try to understand what
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say that don't advise the person. I never did that.
Yeah.
That is very important, because I'm not a therapist. I can't
Mm-hmm.
tell you that, okay, go do this, do exercise, you'll feel better, do meditation, you'll feel better. I don't even do that now after
Mm-hmm.
conducting so many sessions on mental
Mm-hmm.
health, because
Yeah.
I'm not a therapist, I'm not a professional. I just listen to the people, and if I feel that, okay, he or she needs therapist, then I divert that person to a
Yes.
psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important for you. You shouldn't
Being a
advise that
doctor.
person. Yeah, that is very important. And I would also say that just try to understand that okay, he or she might need help. and then kind of provide the resources. Might be taking that person, or taking your child to the psychologist, giving those counseling sessions, therapy sessions, or doing those things. So I feel this is the cycle when you are talking about something and what the parents should react. So but it's not always on the one side, it's always it's also on the second side, that parents should know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the times that this happens, that specifically in India, the generation which is ahead us,
Mm-hmm.
they don't really know about these concepts. And
Yeah.
although the scenario is changing now when we talk about youth, that people are coming ahead and they're talking about what they're going through, but
Mm-hmm.
this is still the stigma and the taboo which is in the generation which is ahead us, specifically our parents generation,
Yeah.
that they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to feel that okay, there might be a mental health issue
Mm-hmm.
involved. Like even if you start crying, they might say that okay, you might have had a bad day, or you might
Mm-hmm.
have got disturbed because of something, and because of that it's going on. They also might tell you that it's okay, that sometimes you might feel like this, but you will get better. Just go sleep, have a good sleep, and the
Mm-hmm.
next morning you'll get better. So first of all, it's very important for the parents to understand and know about those basic concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel that from a school itself, we are taught about brushing our teeth. We are
Mm-hmm.
taught about
Yeah.
taking a shower in order to maintain our personal hygiene. Why
Mm-hmm.
aren't we taught about feelings? Why aren't we
Yeah.
taught about what are emotions? Why aren't we taught about what is mental health and how do you need to take care of your mental health? We aren't
Mm-hmm.
never taught about this,
Yeah.
and this is where social difference comes in picture. So why
Mm-hmm.
blame the society?
Mm-hmm.
This is where you are kind of bringing a difference between physical health and mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I believe that we as youth need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to your parents. When I say that you have to break the stigma as youth, when you have to spread awareness, I mean to
Mm-hmm.
say that I just don't mean to say that you have to put on social media about what you're going through and
Yeah.
share quotes and everything. Because I'll tell you an example with the recent incident that happened in India,
Mm-hmm.
with the Sushant Singh Rajput. Everyone thought that it was suicide, although the case is taking a different turn
Mm-hmm.
now. But initially, everyone thought that that was because of depression and was
Yeah.
suicide. And suddenly, everyone started posting on social media about, friend, I'm always there. You can
Yeah.
contact me. You can talk to me anytime you feel to. In I'll tell you a fun part about this. In my case, those were the friends who had put their status. If I drop them a message, they'll reply me after 4 3 4 hours, and if I call them, they'll not receive. And
Yeah.
these people, they're coming ahead and putting the story and the
Yes.
status on social media. So it's not only about social media. You just have to don't show it virtually. It should be implemented. It should be through your actions. So when I say that you have to come ahead and break the stigma, I say that I mean to say that you have to start it from your own family. I mean to
Yes.
say that you have to start with your own friend circle. Talk about those things. Share what you're going through. Check on friends, like how they're feeling, what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing. Ask if they need help, and that is how we together as a community can come together and break that stigma.
This is very true. You touched a very pain point of mine. I hate this when people do this. When I was going through a very difficult time in my life, hardly any of the people I was in close touch with communicated or stayed in touch with me asking how I was doing. And now when a film star commits these kind of things, they want to talk about politics, they want to talk about everything possible, only when it happens like on a big media scale. They don't
Yeah,
want to reach out to close network. They are not available. As you said, they people reply in 4 days. What if the person is going under depression right now? What if the
yeah,
person is suicidal right now? Always respect when a person reaches out to you, because you never know what is on the other side. Even if
yeah,
you're busy, or one thing which I have started doing since 4 years is that whenever a person reaches out, even if I'm not available, all good, and based on the response person has, I am busy, but are you okay, are you happy? Nobody asks these questions now anymore. All, how's life? They don't ask you
yeah.
how are you, they ask how's life. And life is life is as it is. Thank you for sharing this very very insightful points. I hope it is helping out to the people. It helps out the parents and the teenagers when they're listening to this. Generally, in the last section of the live, we ask the person to share some story where um, the life where communication and acceptance and all of these things which we talked about changed the person's life. So maybe some story which is close to your heart, where we can show people that, if you are going through these things, then maybe you are having mental health issues and there is a solution. Taking your life is not the end, is not the solution to it.
Okay, so this is a story, I guess, a few months back,
Mm-hmm.
and it was related to it is related to the peer support group.
Mm-hmm.
I had one girl who
Mm-hmm.
came and she was in the session. We obviously I do it online, so
Mm-hmm.
we were sitting face to face, and she started telling us stories. She said that she has those ups and downs. Like she goes through those issues very often, and when she does, one day what happened? She was roaming with a knife in her hand
Mm-hmm.
throughout her home,
Mm-hmm.
and that was because she was very disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
When you are disturbed or when it comes to mental health issues, chances of self-harming are
Very
to a
high.
greater extent, and that
Mm-hmm.
was one of those cases.
Mm-hmm.
So she was roaming with a knife for 2 days continuously in her home, and her parents, everyone, her brother, they were not understanding what they should do. So she was telling me about this. So we have this initiative, which is called as Letters of Empathy.
Mm-hmm.
I started it, almost when I started Empathy for You,
Mm-hmm.
because I love writing. I've always been fond of writing, and during the birthday parties and everything, I used to
Mm-hmm.
give letters to the people instead of giving those materialistic things. I
Mm-hmm.
used to write letters and give them. So I've always been fond of writing. So I somewhere thought that when I started Empathy for You, I somewhere thought that, we can actually use this letter writing as a mean to spread
Mm-hmm.
awareness. So I started writing letters to the people who approached me through peer support group.
Mm-hmm.
And initially it was just around 7 to 8 letters that I sent out every month. But now, if you ask me the count, today's count, it's around 90-95 letters that we sent out every month
Every
to
month.
the people
Wow.
who process through peer support group.
Wow.
So that time I said that time I just asked her one question. Like, I wasn't knowing how should I react, so I
Yeah.
just asked her, do you love reading letters, or do
Mm-hmm.
you mind if I send you letters? She said, yes, I love reading letters. So every month I started posting those letters at her home. And suddenly, after, I never used to get reply from her.
Mm-hmm.
She just used to take those letters, read it, and when I
Mm-hmm.
used to see her the next time, she never used to talk about those letters.
Yeah.
So I always used to ask her, like, have you received the letter? She used to say yes, and she
Yes.
used to continue her story.
Mm-hmm.
But one day, she said that, those letters are actually making a difference. Those
Yeah.
letters are actually making her feel good.
Mm-hmm.
What is included in the letters is basically everything about hope and support to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Because when a person is going through mental health issue, it's very important for that person to make realize that they are not alone in this battle, but we are together as a community to support
Mm-hmm.
them. And that is what we write in those letters. The letters are full of words of kindness and empathy and love and compassion. So
Mm-hmm.
after few months, I got during the session we were sitting, and she said that, those letters are actually making a difference. Those
Mm-hmm.
letters are actually making her feel good.
Yeah.
And she also said that, I want to reply to those letters, so that, and from that time itself, she started writing back. She used
Mm-hmm.
to write the reply to the letter that we used to send her.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, that reply was so overwhelming. It was about how she is making a difference, about how she's building herself up,
Mm-hmm.
how she is using those little things in the life to bring happiness to herself, how she has started believing in herself. Because
Mm-hmm.
that girl that I saw
Mm-hmm.
in initially first 2 sessions,
Mm-hmm.
she was demoralized.
Yeah.
She was not knowing that she has a life inside her. She was
Mm-hmm.
not knowing that she has everything that it takes inside her. She
Yeah.
was searching for happiness in the things outside.
Oh my
She was
God.
searching
Mm-hmm.
for everything for the things outside. And
Approval
this
from
is
people.
yeah, and this is not only about her. There are many people out there who keep on
Many.
searching for the things outside, when they should know that, everything is inside. Everything that you need, or all that it takes, is there within you.
Mm-hmm.
So she started sending us letters, and she still does that. And we might have sent around, almost uh, 20-25 letters to her up till now, and
Okay.
we started receiving replies. So
Mm-hmm.
that was just overwhelming. And
My God.
this has stayed pretty much the same with people. Like, from few we receive replies, few
Mm-hmm.
actually write it, few DM us, few send it
Mm-hmm.
via mail. that we have received your letter and it's pretty overwhelming. So that is something that, and I always say that this initiative of my organization Empathy for You has made me reach people, but
Mm-hmm.
moreover their hearts. And I
Yeah.
feel that is very important when it comes to, dealing with the people who are going through mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask me, the number of letters I've written till now, I've written more than 185 letters. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess I wrote my 184th letter yesterday. I might write my 185th letter today.
Today.
This is my personal
Oh my
count.
god.
And if you ask me, as an
We
organization, we
should
have delivered more than 400 letters till date.
definitely. This is amazing. Okay, so here I have to comment. I have so many things to say for this live. Very few people in this world, whenever you are going through a tough time, will say that I am there for you. I am here to listen to you. I am here to provide you support.
Yeah,
There are very few people who do this. Mostly people will say, oh, everything will be okay. They try to find a solution for you. We don't need solution. All we need is a ear and a shoulder to kind of rely upon and hear.
yeah,
And what you said, the acceptance, the approval, and the love has to come from within it. No matter how many people in the world love you, it's the inner demons which we have to kind of suppress and kind of start showing love to ourselves. Only then this happiness, the feeling of happiness, will be complete. So this
yeah.
is the letters part you do is amazing. I can imagine you're doing wonders. I definitely will reach out to you to be a part of that as well, to kind of write letters to people, because I think this is an amazing initiative. Thank you so much, Shalmali, for coming on this platform and sharing your amazing and very overwhelming journey with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I hope that was useful for the people out there.
Definitely, I am pretty sure you just check out the live on for the audience who are watching us. The video will be available on our website www.neuphony.com. All the upcoming events and the past events are visible on the website. The video will be available on YouTube and on Facebook as well. Thank you for watching us. And if you have any questions for Sharmili, she is there in the comment section below. You can always tag her and ask and reach out to her for support. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sharmili.
definitely.